This for my city, New York, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah. For my city, never pretty. New York City, sing it with me. Yeah. For my city, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah. New York City, sing it with me. Now we got the Nets that move into town. New York and Brooklyn showdown, but NYC has always been a Knick town. Orange and blue, we rock the colors with pride. Let's take it back to Walt Clyde and Earl Pro going to work on you guys. The UN era was live, it started in 85. The Twin Towers would devour you guys. R.I.P. to Dave the Butcher, we can never overlook a Knick legend up in heaven smiling down on our future. Bernard King, he was a scoring machine. He was a human wrecking ball, straight up destroying your team. There was no defense you could draw in the scheme. From post-game to mid-range, you had no chance, he would just shatter your dreams. Rod Strickland, Action Jackson, John Starks, he played with passion. Larry Johnson, Oak and Mason did a lot of party crashing. On any team who tried to step to NY. And if you put that jersey on, you better rock it with pride. What up? What up, y'all? Stills the Great, Tip of the Gambler, Knicks Talk Nation Radio, Sundays, 2 p.m. It's time to get it in again. My people, what's going on? Tipper.
What's good,
welcome, sir. How you doing today, man?
How you doing?
My man, 50 grand. We got a lot to talk about today, you know what I'm saying? We got a whole lot to talk about. But before I leave, Tip, how was your day, bro?
It was okay. I had a little late start, but that's the start of my weekend. But other than that, I'm here.
Yeah?
My
man, word to mother, man. For real, man. Well, we got a lot to talk about. Like I said today, I got a lot of crow to eat. You know what I mean? I can't lie. I wrote my team off. You know what I'm saying? I wrote my team off. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be the first to admit it. Everybody out there know what it is with me, man. My Knick fandom go deep, but I wrote them off this year. I'll take a sip to that. Yeah. Nah, but we got a lot to talk about today, man. The Knicks are the talk of the town. You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy 3D. We had a big debate on Friday on the No Off Season podcast, featuring myself and my co-host 3D. You know what I mean? We spoke about the Knicks. We spoke about Derrick Rose as well, man. But we're going to talk a little bit about that later on. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave that for the next show. You know what I mean? We're going to talk a little bit about Derrick Rose, Chris Paul, Jalen Brunson and all that. But Tips, why don't you give everybody a recap of that other night's game against the Miami Heat, specifically Friday night when Julius Randle, no handle Randle,
as we like strip ball Randle.
Yeah, I mean, no handle, strip ball Randle, wild shot Randle. Talk about the game where he closed out, Tips.
He closed that game out. Stumbled and bumbled.
Bumbling.
And ended up shooting a three. Silenced the crowd. The Knicks fans that was in attendance went crazy.
Yeah, they said that was like one of the most exciting games ever. I missed it that night. We was on air. I caught the end part, but I didn't see the game. So tell everybody about the game in general.
The game was really good, man. They couldn't stop Randle. Randle scored 25 points in the first half of that game.
Yeah, he finished with 43, 9, and 3, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So he had a huge night. Yeah, he's going berserk this year. You know what I mean?
Yes, he is.
So what was your biggest takeaways from the game? Because I felt like that game was a huge measuring stick for the Knicks in general because Miami's a tough team. And historically, we've had hard times winning in South Beach. And I felt like this game, of any game, was going to be a true testament to how far the team has come. And they passed with flying colors because from what I do believe, the Knicks had a comfortable lead throughout the game. It was up by at least 20 at one point in the game. You know what I mean? 15, then the lead went away.
Then the comeback came about.
Okay.
Shout out to Miami. They scrappy,
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite sure they came out with a game plan is not to lose that game in the second half. But, shout out to the Knicks.
Yeah. And it was a big game as far as standings were concerned because now we kind of put some distance between us and the Heat. I think we own the tiebreaker now. So even if we had a record that was similar or close, we would still have the tipping edge because of the season record that we have against them. You know what I mean? But and shout out to the Facebook users out there, man, checking in early. Said that game was huge when you look at the direction you want to be and you want to head in before the playoffs. That's a fact. You know what I mean? This is definitely where we want to be. Shout out to my brother Joe Stratford, man. always showing love on the check-in. Yes, brother, we see you. You know what I mean? But just to give you a little idea of what the box score looked like, man. Like we said earlier, Julius Randle played almost the whole game. He played 36 minutes, put in 43 big ones, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. The most important stat of them all was he was efficient, and he shot 16 of 25 from the field, and he hit 8 3-pointers. So he went berserk from downtown. He went 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Jalen Brunson chipped in 25 points, added 2 rebounds and 8 assists, and he also had an efficient night. Well, he went 9 for 14, but he went 3 for 7 from downtown, 4 for 6 from the free throw line. Mitchell Robinson didn't have a big game. He finished the game with 2 points, 5 rebounds. That was probably one of his worst games since he's been back. But he needed one of those.
That game.
Yeah, he had a stinker. He needed to get a stinker out. You know, he had to get that one out. You know what I mean? As far as RJ Barrett had a solid game. He went for 17 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He went 8 for 15 from the field. He went 0 for 4 from downtown, 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Quentin Grimes he added 2 points. You know, he has to do a little bit more moving forward. You know, it seems like he's looking over his shoulder now that Hart is here. And he added 3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist.
He was active in that game.
He was active on the defensive end. Yeah, you know, that's a good thing about Grimes.
He was very active in that game.
Yes, indeed. Now moving to the bench, Emmanuel Quickly, another guy who I've been skeptical on this whole year. He added 21 points in 22 minutes. You know, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. He was efficient. 7 of 11 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3-point range. Perfect from the free throw line with 2 for 2. Josh Hart, even though you don't see it in the score box in the box score, he added 5 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, which he is one of the top leading guards in rebounds in the NBA. That's why this was a big move as well.
Yes, he is.
He also added 3 assists. He went 2 for 3 from the field, 1 for 3 from the free throw line. And, you know, Hawkinstein added 4 points, 4 rebounds, perfect from the field. And Obi Toppin in 12 minutes gave us 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 for 5 from the field. I'm kind of disappointed, man, in the fact that, you know, Obi is it's like he's in the wrong place right now. You know what I mean? And, you know, shout out to the Facebook user said that Brunson is playing like a top 5 point guard in the league right now.
Yes, he is.
You know what I mean? And he is. You know what I mean? Name 5. Tough, he said, tough to name 5 point guards playing better than him as of late. And that's a fact. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy. But you was gonna say something, Tips. I'm sorry.
No, you got to give Jalen Brunson his props. You know, he's playing stellar this year. You know, taking a lot of licks.
Absolutely.
A lot of licks, you know, because Atlanta tried to almost put him out of the game in that game Friday night.
Yes, indeed.
He came back and he was sufficient in his job.
Yes, indeed. And shout out to my brother Slim. Yes, he did. Yes, indeed. He said it is. You know, it's hard to name 5 point guards. Can you name 5 point guards better than Jalen Brunson right now in the NBA? Tips over there struggling to do it.
You know, it's hard to do 5.
Yeah.
Hard to do 5.
Yeah.
That's really putting in work right now.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard to do that. But you know, like I said,
there's 3 of them.
3 of them?
Yeah.
Who's your 3?
3. No, Harden. Harden had 30 and 10 last night.
Wow. So you're saying that? No, I'm saying you saying that Harden is having a better overall season than Brunson this year? Did Harden make the All-Star team? Nah, he didn't. But go ahead.
Nah, he didn't.
Yeah,
he really didn't.
All right.
Moran having a good year until he had his little hiccup.
We're gonna talk about him in the next couple of hours.
That's a long conversation for that one.
Yes, indeed.
But who else? Maybe Dame keeping his team.
Dame Lillard. That's one. That's legitimate one. Dame Lillard.
Dame's keeping them. Yeah. We'll see what Curry do this week since he's back. You know,
Chef Curry. He's been hurt, so
he came back. He's coming back today.
Yeah.
You know, I think they play the Lakers. I think.
Yeah, they play the Lakers today.
Yes.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, but shout out to Jalen Brunson, man. You know what I mean? He's been the spark plug that made the Knicks go this year. Julius Randle, man. You know, I was his number 1 critic. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to ask a question after this segment or whatever. And shout out to the Facebook user Slim. He said Fox is definitely a good player too, because he stepped up his game this year as well.
Right. Sacramento Kings is definitely in the mix.
The Kings are a playoff team. Yeah, they're a playoff team. They're a playoff team. Shout out to Shaq, man. Shaq quietly out here doing things in the front office. You know what I mean, with the Sacramento Kings. You know, Vlade Divac is still over there too. But Julius Randle, man, you know, I gotta give his props. I gotta give him props because, you know, I was ready to ship him out ASAP Rocky. You know what I mean? I just felt like, you know, and I still kind of see it like he's a stat guy, but he does play hard.
Yeah, he do.
Even with that last minute shot that he made, that was a terrible shot, but he made it.
He made it.
It was like no, don't. Oh yes, it was one of those. You know what I mean? So
you live by the shot, you die by the shot.
You live by it, you die by it. But as of right now, until we get something better that as far as the closer is concerned, I'm not upset with him. I'm happy at the production that he's given the team this year. I know a lot of it has to do with the fact that Jalen Brunson is in town right now, and he kind of steadies the ship. You know what I mean? He controls the tempo of the game. He lets Julius Randle get off when he needs to get off, but he also takes over the game when he's ready to take over the game. And I like that about Jalen Brunson. But Julius Randle, in the last 6 games, he's averaging 31 points on 53% field goal shooting, 48% from behind the three-point line. It's like he took that stinker from All-Star Weekend and brought it to the NBA.
Shout out to the dab step.
Yeah, the jab step. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. And the Knicks have been 6-0 in these last 6 games, and they're actually 7-0,
8-0 now.
8-0 since the acquisition of Jason Hart. So is Josh Hart? Sorry, is it great to say, or is it safe to say that Josh Hart is the lucky charm of the team?
That was a great acquisition.
That was a great acquisition under the radar. I looked at it like, damn, why would you do that when we already got Quentin Grimes? But I clearly see the difference between him and Grimes. What do you see?
Hart is an active player out there. You know, he's grabbing rebounds. So he's banging with the big men. Mm-hmm. Grimes is not really doing that. He's guarding the perimeter. So I kind of see the difference.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I kind of see the difference.
That's a fact, man. And what do you think about Julius Randle now? Are you ready to accept him for who he is? Or can we just, you
got to take the good and the bad with Randle. Level? You got to take the good and the bad with the Randle. So a lot of people out here that are Knicks fans said that Randle should be gone. You know, at one point in time, I was one of them. But, if you see Randle in the last 4 years, I guess with the Knicks, the first year he was subpar. The following year, he was lighting it up with the threes.
Absolutely.
Last year, he had a little hiccup because, he got the bag. So, he took one step back.
Mm-hmm.
This year, he kind of rejuvenated back to what he was 2 years ago.
All-star status.
Yeah.
He's all NBA. Forget just all-star. He's all NBA this year.
Yeah.
So far. I don't know if it's first team.
But
he's going to make an all-NBA team.
He's going to make an all-NBA team.
He has
might be
to.
on the second team.
Has to.
He might be on the second team.
Him and Brunson. They have to. They have to. You know what I'm saying? And so are you ready to say that he's ready to take us to the next level?
I think the Knicks are still one more piece away.
One more piece away.
One more piece away. To really be lights out, they one more piece away.
Where at? We got the bigs that at least defend and grab rebounds. I don't think we need scoring from the big position. So is it the 3? RJ?
It could be. I'm surprised that Tibbs let RJ play the last final minutes in that game on Friday night.
Well, he has to, man.
But, defensively, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Well, I mean, I think that right now, and that's going to be my later take, but I'll touch on that a little bit later, man, for real. Now, we got to also give props again to Jalen Brunson. Him and Nikola Jokic were named players of the month for the Eastern and Western Conference, respectively. Jokic and the Knicks guard Jalen Brunson were named NBA Players of the Month. The league announced it via Twitter. Jokic, the Western Conference winner, for the second straight month, averaged 22 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists on 64% shooting from the field, 50% three-point shooting, and 80% free throw shooting from the line. You know what I mean? In 11 games, in 33 minutes per game. Denver also went 9-2 in those games that he played. The Nuggets overall are 44-19, and they hold the number 1 seed
in the West. What a long way the Denver Nuggets have come. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think they had that much success when my guy Melo was there. And I'm a big Melo fan. You know what I mean? For real.
I think they did 1 year.
And shout out to Slim. He said the center position isn't solid yet. So I get that. I guess we can use a scorer, but Mitch does play well. You know what I mean? Shout out to Quiet Money. Salute. You know what I mean?
I think more so with a big. They need a big who can guard the three, who can run out there to follow the big man.
That's Mitchell Robinson. That's Mitchell Robinson all day. All day he's guarding the three.
We don't want. We don't want a player like who shoot the three on Milwaukee. What's that big man name?
Yes, what's up, champ?
What's his name?
Who?
Brook Lopez. Yes.
Brook Lopez.
Yeah, but look, he shoots the three.
Shout out to the big bro, Mike, man. We're gonna let him get comfortable. Yes, indeed. Brook Lopez does shoot as well. You know what I mean? So, again, Jokic got the player of the month for 2 straight months on the Western Conference side. Jalen Brunson, he's averaging 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists on 52% field goal shooting, 42% from the 3-point line, and 77% from 3-point range in the last 10 games. But he's playing 37 minutes a game. And the Knicks also went 9-2 in February, including 8-2 with Brunson in the lineup, and are currently on a 8-game winning streak now, which has moved them up to now the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference, with their eyes clearly set on the 4th seed, because I believe they're only 1 game or 1.5 games behind them. The Cavs right now. And that's big, because that means we'll get home court advantage in the playoffs if the playoffs were to start today.
I'm gonna try to go to one of those games, by the way.
For real. Shout out to Quiet Money, man. He said, "This is my first time coming across this podcast." How long we been running? We've been doing it for a while, champ. Lock us in, man. Subscribe. Hit that smash button. You'll hear when we come on all the time. We got multiple shows too, man. But we hope you enjoy the rest of this show today. For real. So Brunson is also the first Knick to be named to the East as the Eastern Conference Player of the Month. The last person to do it was who? Come on, man. That's a layup, man, for you guys. No.
Ewing.
No. Julius Randle, man.
Oh, yeah.
In 2021. You know what I mean?
He was going for the bag,
Word up, man. But Mike Ray, talk about it, man. What's up, big bro?
What's good, family? What's good?
How you feeling, man? So we're going to let you talk about a little bit of what you see so far Friday night with the Knicks and the Heat, and just moving into the next game, man. How do you think the team is looking now? And are you ready to give Julius Randle the keys to the franchise, man? Because can he take us to the promised land?
I don't think Julius Randle's the one to take us to the promised land.
Ooh.
The man to take you to the promised land is your point guard, right? And that's not saying that Julius is not capable, but if you've watched Julius Randle, not his entire career, but particularly his entire career, not just the NBA, but if you watch the Kentucky, you go back to the Kentucky time, right?
Yeah.
Most Kentucky bigs really have the same issue that most bigs have, is that to really be their true most successful self, they need a point guard.
Absolutely.
Right? So Julius has enough of a handle, but not enough of a handle to run the point, right? If you look at all the bringing up the ball that he no longer has to do, where has that energy been passed along to?
Point guard.
The rest, it's been passed along to the point guard, but in terms of his personal energy, now when the last time you ever seen him a willing defender on smaller men? Now you're seeing it.
Yes, exactly.
When the last time you seen him really bust his hump to go from one side of the floor in a rotation to then end up with a smaller man and fundamentally keep that smaller man at least at an angle to where you funnel him? Like, you're seeing real small details in his game that you might not see when I got to bring the ball up and I got to initiate from the pinch post and I got to do this and I still got to score. So
Absolutely.
That's number one. That's one narrative I wanted to address. The other narrative I wanted to address that people need to put a rest to is, well, he didn't do it in the playoffs, So we got to see him do it in the playoffs before we validate him. Okay, so you can get through 82 games making it work.
Yes.
You can duct tape, you can scotch tape, you can gorilla glue, you can use a couple of band-aids, you can use some string, shoelaces, to string out your socks. You can do whatever you need to do during the 82 games, right? Because in reality, the game you're playing in, your coach is already scouting the game next before you even start this game.
Absolutely.
Right? So therefore, there's an attention to detail that is not necessary. Once they drop that attention to detail and you eliminated a Mitch Robinson, then all of a sudden, and you saw like who you giving the ball to on that 2021 squad. Who fundamentally scares you? Right, you're still talking about a 19, 20-year-old RJ.
That's a fact.
Right? So that's not fair. Everybody don't develop at the same time. So it's not fair to put angles on people that are really not applicable to them. Because I tell you what, just like the Knicks weren't good last year, but ain't nobody talking about last year. Let 2 years go by and let RJ Barrett be what many of us think he has the ability to be. Won't nobody be talking about 2019, 2020, 2021. It'll be as if the government got a hold of him and all of a sudden he got a new social. Like just never existed. Got no past history past this season, right? But now you looking at a squad, you can size up this last squad that made the playoffs, the 41 win team to this, or the 42 wins, whatever they won.
Yeah.
You can size them up to this team. And I can tell you from top to bottom, this team is a better team than that team.
Yeah, that 54 win team.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever the we could compare the Melo team, but I'm saying compare the last Julius Randle team that made the playoffs. This team from head to toe is a better team. Number one, I'm gonna say something that is blasphemy. So if I offend anybody in their Knicks religion, then I'm sorry. Please excuse me. Don't cancel me. But Tibbs is, by a Tibbs standard, if you know how regimented he is, if you watch him, if you look at his coaching upbringing, all his coaches he came up with were regimented. So it's only right that he be regimented too.
Of course.
You got kids. You raise your kids a certain way. Your kids go, for the most part, end up being like you in some facet, whether you want to address it or not. So Tibbs is a Van Gundy clone. Tibbs is a Pop from the Olympic team clone. Tibbs is a clone of the individuals he came up underneath. Ladies and gentlemen, Julius Randle, the 2021, the what are we, 2020, this 22, 23.
Yes.
21, 22, 2021. The 2021 team was not going to get past Atlanta. And here's why. They fundamentally had role players that were almost equal to the energy expenditure that the Knicks' best player had to give. Now, all of a sudden, I take Quentin Grimes over every other guard we had running in that season.
That's a big statement.
Right. Listen, I love a Burke. Burke Harvest legit. That dude could score no points and give you 17 in the last 7 minutes of a game and you win by 2. But guess what? Guess what he wasn't? He wasn't that scrappy dude like Josh Hart.
That's a fact.
Right? So I take a Quentin Grimes over Bullock. Pull up just like Bullock. Probably a better defender being 2 inches shorter than Bullock.
Absolutely.
Slides his feet much better. A better one-on-one defender. Bullock was probably a better team defender, right? If you even want to size those up. So what I'm saying is that this team is better than the 42-win season team, fourth place seed. So can we please stop that? And we're not even going to go into Alfred Payton, one-leg Derrick Rose versus Emmanuel Quickly. The Emmanuel Quickly of today is leaps and bounds better than the Emmanuel Quickly of, I guess that would have been his rookie year.
Yeah, that
right?
rookie year. That's a fact.
Way better. Way better. Mitch is bigger. Put on weight. Then got accustomed to the weight. Keeps his hands up. Used to not keep his hands up. Now he keeps his hands up, right? So now he's in better shape. All he did with a broken hand was run. So he could that's I caught an interview. They said that's all he did. That's how he stayed in shape. So his stamina is bananas right now.
He took off a year.
Right? This is a better team overall than that team. And since you got Tibbs being a better coach than he was, when you ever known a Tibbs or a Van Gundy or a Popovich team for that matter average 120 points a game? I'll wait. Thank you. That's my point.
A fact.
That's my point. So he done proved if you want to score, we can score. You see, Jalen got the keys to do whatever he want to do.
Absolutely.
And the laws of basketball still remain the same. If your point guard hits the middle, you have to collapse.
Of course.
And when you have to collapse, law of science says if it's 5-on-5, but 2 go to cover 1, then 1 got to be open.
Absolutely.
And what we're seeing Julius starting to find that open man. He's starting to spray from his point that he likes to catch. He's recognizing double teams a little bit quicker. And you got dudes who clearly got the green light because the minute they come around the screen, Grimes pulling, no conscience, quickly, never had a conscience, pulling, right? Just dudes is pulling.
Facts.
So clearly, better team today. So now we get to that 4 or 5, and I tell you what, 3 ain't too far out of reach.
I don't think so either. I don't, and this I'm gonna get to
3 ain't too far out of reach. I digress.
It's not. It's definitely not, man. For real, man.
The difference between this year's team and the team that was the 4th seed 2 years ago, the team that was the team that was the 4th seed 2 years ago was about, the bench. The bench carried that team all year long. Tibbs put pride into the bench to make the bench do the job.
Absolutely.
In the closing minutes, you seen Derrick Rose and quickly on the court.
Absolutely.
And, you didn't see Peyton and Bullock on the court.
2 liabilities on offense.
You didn't see that compared to this year's team. There's a balance of players where you can come any given night. Anybody can close the game out.
Absolutely.
And they're comfortable with that.
Absolutely.
What you want to do? You want to play defense and be rugged? We can do that.
Yes.
You want to run? Guess what? We got a few horses on this squad.
That's
a
fact. Get
out and run.
That's
we
a
can
fact.
Get out and run. And that's in the starting 5. Because Jalen Brunson don't mind running. Mitch don't mind running.
That's a fact.
RJ don't mind running. You know what I'm saying? You don't. You want to clearly, if you don't see what Julius Randle said in the interview I saw, he ain't banged on this many people since high school, right? So that's verbatim. So therefore, he can run. You want to run? We can run. You want to slow down? Play that slow down, grind it out, which most new style basketball players ain't built for. I would argue you that next to the Joker, there is no better back to the basket player in this era. There is no stronger 4-man in this league than Julius Randle.
That's a fact.
Julius Randle get his shot off on anybody. You don't believe me?
Yeah.
Pull up Friday's game and see what he did to Bam on the low block.
That's a fact.
Bam out, Bam. Bam Olympic Bam.
That's a fact.
Bam easily shut you down, Bam. But Jimmy Butler, you want some too? Hey, I got some. I came with a full pan. I'm serving everybody.
That's a fact.
So,
and shout out to Shy Legacy on the check-in, man. Long time no see, champ. And shout out to Quiet Money. He said this team is definitely better than the one that made the playoffs last time and flamed out in the first round against, the Hawks. He said it was just Julius Randle and a weak supporting cast that got exposed. You know what I mean? So I agree with that. So let's get to a little bit of what's out there in the rumor mill, man, because people are speculating that now that the Knicks kind of like proved themselves and they're looking attractive to players now. One trade that they're anticipating happening is the Bulls star DeMar DeRozan coming to New York. Now I'm gonna give you the package of what the package may entail, and you guys tell me if you pass it on it or not. So the trade would potentially have to include R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Isaiah Hartenstein in return for DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso. Do you guys buy that trade, or would you pass on that trade?
It depends on how they finish the season out. I'll say that. It depends on how they finish the season out. RJ gonna have to come up big for them to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Obi, a lot of talent, young kid, but he might be casualty of the war, man. You know, he might not get that much play time. Only if something happens to Randall, you know, he'll get some play time and develop his game, that which he has.
Yeah, I hate the fact that we wasted. And I'm not going to say it's Obi's fault. You know what I mean?
It's not really a waste because they didn't know what they really got.
It is a waste, man.
They didn't know what they got when they got Randall.
Nah, man.
That year.
That's true, but they had their. Remember, this regime didn't get Randall. They inherited Randall. You know what I mean? So they were coming in looking at the season prior, like, okay, maybe we got to move on from him. And they drafted Obi, anticipating that they were going to be able to move Randall to get something else. And it ended up not happening. And now Randall is playing out of his mind, and we're not getting to see Obi Toppin develop into what he could be. Because when he was at Dayton, he was on fire, and he was a player of the year. Am I right? He was a player of the year in college.
Mm-hmm.
He got, like you said, Mike, Sean Marion potential. You know, he definitely would be a great asset to this team. But I don't think that right now, as the team is currently constructed and the way that Tibbs got Julius Randle playing, Obi can handle that load right now.
Listen, I would argue you that if Julius would be gone if there was no 2021 season.
That's a fact.
Right? Because at that point, you figure the plan was we're moving on from Julius Randle.
Yeah.
We're cleaning house.
Absolutely.
We're getting all them, what's the black dude name that was the president in front of Scott Perry?
Steve Mills.
Steve Mills, right?
Yeah.
So you figure we're going to run everybody that's Mills brought in here out of here, right? We got our 4-man, right? So we're good to go, right? We can build his team. All right. We'll let him get his value up, and then we'll move on from him. He comes out and starts balling like the second coming of I don't know who. Now all of a sudden you stuck. You kind of can't dump Julius right this moment. Like if Julius would have had a good season, that'd be different. But Julius came out in 2021 and was something like if he played like that in 1920, Tyrese Halliburton would have got drafted.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Not necessarily Obi
That's
Toppin.
a fact.
So they were starting to build. You just didn't anticipate this.
That's a fact. And shoot, man, if
That-
we had
that's-
drafted Halliburton, we would have had no Brunson.
And then you have to kind of see how this here wavers. Do the Knicks have a better record at different points in time with the Tyrese Halliburton? I would argue guess what, man? If I had Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, we might just get past the Hawks.
Wow.
And then we really not having this discussion.
Wow.
Right? But nobody knew Julius was going to come play out his mind.
Yeah.
Right? Last year proved one thing to you. New York is a bit much. If you ain't built for this region, then I'm not just pinning that on New York. You look at Boston, you look at New York, you look at the Wizards to a small degree.
Philly.
Not the team, Philly. Not so much the teams, but the region.
Absolutely.
So these are hard scrabble. All we got is we don't have nothing else. Industrial-based, poor weather cities. If you look at cities like that, the way they treat their sports is truly a reprieve from the troubles of life, right? So therefore, it's hard. And you throwing that those are the same cities where you're indoors more than outdoors. So of course basketball is going to be the sport. Of course you're going to have folks in the stands watching you who could probably outcoach some of your assistant coaches. Right? So
How about that?
Right? So with that being said, you have to look at it as that wasn't necessarily an error. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just the way it played out just. But at the same time, if you look at this team, Obi is extremely happy. You hear dudes all day long.
Yeah.
You hear inside reporters. And when you listen to them and they talk with a little reservation like they can't believe it, that's how you know it's true.
Yes.
They're not necessarily. So on top of all of this, these dudes really like each other. These dudes. Did you see Julius when he dropped the bomb on Friday night?
Yeah.
You would have thought everybody had a kid.
That's a fact.
Now, as far as DeMar DeRozan, all they were missing was the cigars. Even when he straight Lawrence Taylor Thibodeau, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was just like, "Hope coach up," but yeah, you just hit the shot.
Yeah.
Now for DeRozan, you go get DeRozan if you're in a position where you're legitimately one player away from making a strong move. Because at 35, or 36, or 33, whatever DeMar DeRozan is, you need a bucket. 4 minutes on 4 seconds on shot clock. At the end of a game, you down 1.
Yeah,
you need a basket. That's a dude that has traditionally shown he can get to his spot on the floor. Has since a rookie. Does still now as an OG. That's not going to change. Number one. Number two. Only other player with a better, who's equal in the mid-range, is Jalen Brunson.
That's a fact.
So you would have two of the greatest mid-range players in the game today on your team.
That's a fact.
Where DeMar still has the athleticism that Jalen doesn't, the end result is still the same. They're evil. They're ill-willed in the mid-range. They mean you know well.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Much malice when they come in the lane.
That's a fact.
You want spin moves, you want a jump shot, you want just cold with it, just ice cold. So no, I wouldn't make that move. Now, if you told me this was DeMar DeRozan fresh out of Toronto, that's a different story. That was a different DeMar DeRozan, right? He wasn't so handcuffed by Kyle Lowry, because I've never been a Kyle Lowry fan.
Nah, hell no.
Right? he wasn't, you know, you might as well bring back Khalid El-Amin from UConn. Right?
That's the Khalid El-Amin. Word, man.
Right? So you might as well do that. You know what I'm saying? Give me back Mateen Cleaves. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how I feel about dude is good for 82 games and some preseason games, but the minute it gets real, it just seems like he doesn't have another level to go to. So
absolutely.
No, I'm not making that trade.
Absolutely.
I'm not making that trade.
And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Quiet Money coming up with some good points. He said he doesn't think that Obi was ever more than a tradable asset. If the front office drafted Obi to flourish here, then he would play regardless of what Julius Randle is doing. Now, do you guys think that him and Julius Randle could coexist on the floor together? It's like Melo and Stat.
They tried that.
They tried it.
It ain't really work.
Did they try it enough?
No. I don't think they tried enough.
Because Obi moves without the ball.
That's true.
Obi moves greatly without the ball. Here's the issue. Sorry for chewing y'all.
It's all right.
They just give up the rim protector. You know.
You probably gain a better defensive rebounder, because clearly when Randall want to rebound, he getting it.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
When he want it.
Which we've seen him wanting them more lately than normal.
Mm-hmm.
However, you lose the rim protection. So if you have a defensive liability anywhere else on the floor, you out of luck. Now, I have noticed, if you paid attention, last 10, 15 games, Obi been a whole lot more active defensively in the post.
That's his ticket to play.
I saw him caught 2 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And can we end another narrative?
Let's go.
That these young dudes is old.
Let's talk about it.
Right? Everybody want that 17, 18, 19-year-old who needs time to grow. Meanwhile, Tim Duncan went to college for 4 years.
Whole fact.
Right? Did come out a little older. Yeah, came out 22, 23, somewhere in that
polished.
Region. It's polished. Right? Less wear and tear.
Yes.
Right? So that's how you have, in the older days, you had older dudes who played an extremely long time. Right? They had the 4 years in college, but they didn't have the rigors of the NBA to physically wear them down. And we don't practice like we used to. Shout out to Paul George for his commentary.
Mm-hmm.
That the injuries are because we don't practice hard like we used to. We got days off. I don't know if that was a direct shot at Kawhi or not, but he's absolutely right. So I can't agree. I can't agree with that. Now, I'd like to see Obi go somewhere else, but check this out. How can I be mad at a dude that's happy where he is?
Exactly.
In a good space with his friends.
Exactly.
They have a good time. They party and bowl all night long on the plane, at practice, in games. I mean, they're telling you this. Like, we don't talk about that stuff. We don't talk about how Tibbs is like, he got a team full of ball players and gym rats.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
ballers and gym rats.
Gym rats.
Jalen Brunson gets traded here. First place he goes to is Tarrytown to hit the gym.
That's a fact.
And 10 other dudes came along with him.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? The dudes wasn't at the club. They didn't say, I'll meet you over here. They didn't go out to dinner. Dude said, I'm going to the gym. Who's coming?
Right.
And everybody's there. See, that's the stuff we don't talk about. And that's now, if we went in another city, oh yeah, we talk about that all day.
That's a fact. And shout out to everybody that go to Lifetime Fitness, man. Because that's where they all go to ball too, man. Melo started that trend, and then all the ballers throughout the NBA.
What's that guy named?
Lifetime Fitness.
Barkley?
Who?
The white guy that gets all of them together to be training the basketball.
Chris
guy.
Brinkley.
Yeah, Chris Brinkley.
Chris Brinkley. Yeah, Chris Brinkley's a great trainer. You know,
great
what I mean?
trainer.
He helped Julius Randle out with his handle. You know, definitely got his game up as far as from the long range. You seen Randle working on a lot of that, and I used to get on him like, "Yo, man, you need to be down low. We don't need you on the perimeter
all the time."
And he saved us the other night with that perimeter wild shot. I might add.
You know what I find hysterical? Over
What's
the
that?
summer, you saw Instagram videos of Julius hitting these running the lane, fall away shots.
Yes.
Now he hitting those, and those are money.
That's it. Practice, repetition.
He pull up the fire, they money.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely.
Anybody talking about that now, right?
It's irrelevant now.
National media is so upset.
Yeah. And shout out to Jay Boogie on the check-in, man. Yeah, you can definitely email us at barsandhoopsradio@gmail.com, man, for that video, man, to talk about this point guard situation with Jalen Brunson. We appreciate it. So man, let's get to some bold predictions, man. And I'm not even gonna say it's a bold prediction. I kind of think, and like as Mike said, you know, the outlook for the Knicks, the 3 seed is attainable, right?
It is.
So I'm saying that they definitely gonna get that 4 seed. It may not be that bold because we see the trending of the teams. We see where the Knicks are going, and we see where everybody else is going. Brooklyn is about to fall out of the top 6 into the play-in situation.
They watched Boston.
Yeah, they did watch Boston the other day. Hey, Mike, you know what they say. You know what they say.
And come back and win.
You know what they say. The sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Word to mother. For real. So I will say that I will book, if I could put money on DraftKings and all those DFS pools out there, man, I would definitely take the Knicks, definitely land in that 4 seed spot. And I also feel with the way that they're playing right now, there's no reason why the Knicks shouldn't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They can beat Philadelphia. We beat Boston twice already. We can definitely beat Cleveland, who we beat twice as well. So I don't see why the Knicks can't push to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Am I being too ambitious, gentlemen?
Anything is possible the way the NBA is going.
Shout out
right
to Tips.
now.
He said, anything is possible.
The way the NBA is going right now. Since they do say the shit is rigged.
Hey,
that's a whole nother conversation.
Shout out to Arian Foster, man. If it's plane fall out of the sky, man, we know what happened. Nah, let me stop. I hope that don't happen.
But anything is possible with these Knicks. You know, it's all on the Knicks. How they are in matchups. It's all about matching up. You know.
I mean, what team outside of Milwaukee has a better bench than us? That's clearly Philly's weakness. The Cavs don't have a great bench.
Look at the coaches who outcoached Tibbs in victories. Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse is a different animal behind that on that sideline. He's a great coach.
Very good coach.
He's a very good coach. Yeah.
You know, shot Udoka too before he got suspended. He was a very good coach as well.
Nate McMillan, who caught a raw deal
in
Atlanta, because he fell out with a star player.
Who else? Who else is who like outcoached Tibbs to victory?
But Budenholzer is a good coach as well. He's very underrated as a coach. I don't think he gets as much credit.
Budenholzer got a raw deal in Atlanta too.
He did.
He wanted to come to New York before Tibbs.
Yes.
And he kind of got upset about that.
Yes.
That's why he always want the Bucks to like really put their foot in the Knicks' neck every time they play. But it don't really pan out that way.
I really think that the Knicks, and this is not me, I'm taking my Knicks glasses off. The way that the team is playing, man, we haven't seen this in a long time. I don't even think the 54-win team played this well. We didn't even have the point guard play that we had on that 54-win team. Jason Kidd was in his 40s already. So he just was a guy that was able to facilitate on the floor. But the way that Jalen Brunson is taking the bull by the horns, and the way that, you know, guys like Josh Hart is coming into the game and being a 3-point threat. Whenever you ever stopped that he was not shooting lights out the way that he's shooting now, you know, and playing defense. And the fact that Tibbs got all of these guys playing defense this way, I don't see any reason why the Knicks can't make it to the Eastern
Josh
Conference.
Hart is a dude that Tibbs wanted, and Tibbs said he's wanted for a while.
Absolutely.
Since the Minnesota days.
Said he reminded him of Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? But I really truly think that the way that this team is currently constructed right now, with guys knowing their roles, nobody's looking over their shoulder on whether or not they're going to get pulled. Tibbs actually sticking to a 9-man rotation instead of an 8-man rotation.
8.5, you man.
8.5, right? Yeah, we playing spades when it comes to Tibbs sometimes. I really, really, really think that this team can truly compete on a high level. They can beat Philly. All we got to do, you can let Embiid do him. Long as if you can control Harden, you control Maxey.
One of two.
One of those two, they're able to be hacked. Their bench is terrible. We could beat Cleveland. I don't, as much as I wanted Donovan Mitchell here, and I still do, I don't think that him by himself will single-handedly beat the Knicks. The way that Stephen A is out here making it seem like we better not, he getting extra. We better not lose to Donovan Mitchell because the headlines are going to be, and Monica McNutt them shut him down, and he still didn't want to deal with logic.
He can't say nothing about the New York Knicks because he hasn't been to not one game this year.
And he said that he needs to, stay away.
He don't want to give. He said he don't want to He don't want to put a hex on.
Yeah, we don't need that.
So that's why he ain't go to not one game this season.
Word.
Listen, I would say that Eastern Conference Final is not overly optimistic.
It's not.
At the same time, the fact of the matter is, and here's why. First of all, the 4-5 matchup means absolutely nothing to me.
That's a winnable series.
Playing Cleveland, if it's Cleveland, means absolutely nothing to me.
Facts.
Here's why. You are talking about the team with the second best road record in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks travel well.
Absolutely.
Right? Probably travel a little better since they're so close that it's us. So the us against the world mentality is like, yo. Right?
That's facts.
So they're with it. Right? How many blowouts you seen? Aside from what? Memphis at the Garden or the first Dallas game?
Yeah.
How many blowouts you seen the Knicks? Knicks in every game.
Nah, they are. They are.
Right? 10 points means nothing in the NBA. So to see a team down 10 or down 8, it doesn't really hold the weight it did back in the day. It means
That's
nothing.
A fact.
Two threes and a 2, and you back in this game.
Absolutely.
Right? And you're more likely to get 2 threes before you get the 1-2. Right?
That's a fact.
So I would say that I'm expecting the first round. And the Knicks are playing with house money because in reality, if they lose in the first round, but that first round series went 7, they lost on a bad call or just an incredible shot that just you got to shake your head to.
Absolutely.
It's a win-win. It's a win, right? Now, do I think that they can? First of all, Philly don't scare me.
Nope.
Philly don't scare me. They can point out our weak holes. I can point out their weak holes.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, Embiid is dope, but
Mitch has played him well.
But Mitch has played him well, which is why I never wanted DeAndre Ayton. Why would I want DeAndre Ayton when every time the Knicks play the Suns, though we may lose, Mitch washes Ayton. Washes him.
Yes.
Right? So that's why I never wanted DeAndre Ayton, right?
That's a fact.
So therefore, I mean, I really do believe hard second round out. And if we end up in the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm happy. But I see us getting through the first round, and I see a hard second round out.
Hard second round out.
So if they lose in the second round 4-2, 4-3, you know what? I could buy that. Because something's gonna happen where things are just not gonna end the way they look, and the game is all about matchups.
That's a fact.
Right?
Right, Tips. You was gonna say
no. It's all about the matchups. It's all about matchups in it. That's how it's gonna play out for the rest of the series.
Like if we caught Philly and ended up as the 3, who's the 6 at that point? Miami? Like that's
Miami's looking like a 6.
Right?
Yeah,
would I want to see
like
a Knicks Miami?
Oh, I would love it.
A 4-5 would easily be Cleveland and Philly.
Yes.
So
we'll be at 3-6. Miami.
How about that?
And I would love that. You know what I mean? Because we have that history with them, and it'll be good for the fans. You know what I mean? To relive those type of rivalries that we had with teams like that back in the day. So I wouldn't be opposed to a 3-6 matchup with us having home court advantage. We've proven that we could beat the Heat. We were handing them the business on Friday night till they got lackadaisical towards the end of the game and lost that big lead. But I don't like Mike said, I don't see anybody really that I fit outside of Milwaukee. And even with Milwaukee, I mean, they got a deep bench. Don't get me wrong. They got some dogs on the bench. They got Jay Crowder, who's a guy that could potentially be a thorn in Julius Randle's side because he's a defender. He plays hard defense. Chris Middleton isn't back to his normal self. Drew Holiday is a problem. You know, Brook Lopez is playing well, but I still think that a guy like Mitch can neutralize Brook Lopez in a playoff series because he's more athletic, younger. The only problem we'll have is containing Giannis. That's the only one I'm worried about. But if we could even stop him with that wall that people used to normally form to stop him,
well,
he still don't got a jump shot.
You still forget one player on that Milwaukee Bucks team.
Who was that?
Who scored 25 points last night in one quarter.
Who?
Grayson Allen.
I hate that guy. Him?
Yeah, no.
Grayson Allen?
Don't do that.
Grayson Allen?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You telling me that y'all worried about Grayson Allen?
Didn't he score 25 points in one quarter?
Crazy like that.
Did Giannis play?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Grayson Allen? He's a dirty player, too. I don't like that guy.
No. Regardless of what you like,
Grayson Allen?
As far I don't like him, but he's effective. And he's helping them win games. The man scored 25 points in one quarter, bro. 1 quarter.
Scared of no one.
Yeah, he isn't. He's a dirty player, man.
Know,
dirty player.
He's effective. You just have to give shout out to effective players, and he's one of them.
Nah, that's a fact. That's somebody that RJ would have to take it personal against.
You know,
They both effective. From Duke. Both from Duke. You know what I mean? And that's a great point, though, Tips. I can't knock it. So that's a formidable team that you got to be optimistic that the Knicks will have to probably yield to those guys. But I still don't think that anybody else in the East skate. Boston doesn't scare me. Philly definitely don't scare me, huh? We play them tomorrow, and that's going to be another measuring stick. And now we're going to be in Boston.
Yes.
And you know Jason Tatum he can't wait.
He's salty for that last game.
He's salty for that last game. Jalen Brunson is back now. I mean, Jalen Brown is back as well. So that's going to be a true test of where the Knicks are.
And shout out to this year's Knicks team because, you know, not for nothing, the Knicks always start off good in every game as they usually do. A lot of teams come out with a different game plan in the second half, and the Knicks find themselves down by 8, maybe 10, you know. But for some reason, we have players like Brunson, Randall, Hart. Don't quit. They continue to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
And find ways to come back and win the game.
Absolutely.
Whereas they didn't have that a year ago, 2 years ago. When they did even go to the playoffs, and when they were down by 10 and 12 points, it was like who to give the ball to get that, score the next 6 points, next 8 points.
Yeah.
Who they had. They didn't really have nobody.
That's a fact.
Now they kind of comfortable in giving the ball to Brunson in those last little minutes or Randall if he's hot. You know, they comfortable with that.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. And also, man, shout out to the front office, man. Still working. Still doing things to kind of improve the team. You know, they added Dwayne Washington Jr.
Dwayne Washington Jr. can ball.
You know what I mean? They added him to their team on two-way contract.
A heck of a tragedy for us to see him playing, but I mean, the dude can start up because you know Tibbs, other than Josh Hart, he don't just play dudes. He randomly acquire.
He don't.
You see a whole game full of Deuce before and he loves Deuce.
Yeah,
he loves
Deuce.
Deuce.
What I'm saying? You see a whole game of Deuce before you see some Dwayne Washington. But for the record, Dwayne Washington could score buckets.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's Pearl's son, correct?
Nah, that's
not his son.
That's Derek Fisher's nephew.
That's Derek Fisher's nephew.
Derek Fisher's nephew.
Okay.
That Dwayne Washington Sr. played in the league in might be early 90s, something like that. Had a cup of coffee around the league once or twice.
Pearl, you talking about Pearl?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Dwayne Washington Jr. Okay. Dwayne Washington Jr. Fall.
Okay.
Not Pearl.
Okay. Word, man. And also, man, we got a caller. Bars and Hoops Radio, Knicks Talk Nation. Who's this?
Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Bless health and happiness to all you brothers and everybody that's in the chat. This is Jay Boogie. I just wanted to call in, pay y'all some homage and let y'all fellas know, you know what I'm saying? I ride with y'all when your show come on, and y'all guys deserve your flowers for everything that you're doing in the community, also outside of the community, man. I just wanted to come and touch down and rock with you fellas. How y'all fellas doing on this Sunday?
Wait a minute, hold on. Jay Boogie, man. Shout out to you, man, for real. We appreciate that. Go ahead,
hold on. Are we talking the real Jay Boogie, the original closer from Knicks Fan TV, Jay Boogie? Is that who we talking to?
Yes, I'm talking to you, my brother. This is Jay Boogie, the closer from Knicks Fan TV. I am the New York Knicks official MC.
Shit.
What's happening, my brothers?
Yo, man, shout out to you, bro. Word to mother, man.
That's my G right there.
What?
It's a pleasure to talk to you for once in my life, brother.
Yo, Jay Boogie, man, we appreciate that love, man. Word up, man. You know, you more than welcome to come in anytime, man. Talk, chop it up with us, man, about anything, man. We appreciate the love,
Boogie got
bro.
bars.
I know he do.
Clear.
I know he got some bars. I think he's supposed to send me some music at one point in time, I believe.
My brother, I appreciate you. Got my number right there. Get my number, lock my number in, and send me your official email. I've been trying to use that email. I got a lot of music, and I just dropped this thing called Point Guards, just paying homage to all the point guards, even Greg Boo Harvey, you know, all types of guards. And paying homage to Jalen Brunson for everything he's doing. A lot of people don't even know who Boo Harvey is, and that's that dude that got the reverse layup it coming to America. But, man, I love and appreciate all the hard work what the squad is doing, man. The squad is putting down major work right now, you know what I'm saying? Yes, and I think we need to start promoting how some of these teams, they don't want to play against us instead of us trying to match up and play up against some of these other guys. A lot of these guys is really getting ready to start ducking this wreck because they see that we got a point guard, we got a general. They see we got Julius, and he's on something different from being the MIP. Put that man name in the category, you know what I'm saying? If all NBA player, and he should be like top 5, top 6 at the latest, best player going on in the league, but he also is the best power forward in the league, right behind Giannis. And that's not a bad guy to be following and be listening behind. And we got the best guard in the East going on right here, right now. They snubbed him for the All-Star game, but because he ain't make Utah, he's made New York, and that's more important to any and everybody. It is, man. We got a squad that's getting ready to make some noise and do a lot of damage, man. Everybody is hungry. Everybody's in position. They want to show and prove who they are, where their game is right now, and we clicking on all the cylinders. You know what I'm saying? Josh Hart came through. He came out from behind that curtain. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
screaming the 5 heartbeat trail. We rocking, man. Let's turn all the way up.
Yo, Jay Boogie, yo, I sent you the email. It's in the chat. It's right in the chat. But if not, you got a pen with you right now. Take it down real quick, man. It's Bars and Hoops Radio.
Oh.
It's all one word. Bars and Bars AND Hoops Radio at gmail.com, man. Send that through, man, for sure. You know we're gonna give it some love on the station.
All right, say it one more time. BARSAND AND
HOOPS
yes
radio at gmail.com. It's spelled the same way like the skin that you see in the back of me, the backdrop. Bars and Hoops Radio at gmail.com. Send it to me, bro. You know we're going to give it some light, especially on this show. You know that.
Man, I appreciate that, man. And we also need to make sure we give it some, you know what I'm saying? We need to pay some homage and give some flowers to Leon Rose. I know it's difficult because he is so quiet, but if you check what he did all the way from the beginning all the way up to right now, you know what I'm saying, it's major work that he has put in. And I don't think he's going to get it, but he should be mentioned inside of Executive of the Year. When you come back and Julius come off his bad season, he still bring him back. When you come out and you go get Jalen Brunson. When you come out and you turn down, you know, all them extra draft picks that we got now to move forward without going to get Donovan Mitchell, including that we only 1 game behind them. Then at the trade deadline, the smooth trade, we went and got Josh Hart. Then we come back to right now. This is something that a lot of people ain't paid attention. When it came to trading that first round draft pick, we traded the Dallas Maverick pick instead of the New York Knicks pick because we knew we was going to be better than Dallas. So that pick going to be more valuable to us than what our pick. So slick moves by Leon Rose and what they're doing in the office, man.
That's a fact, man. Shout out to him at World Wide West, man. Michael K and all those guys was mad because he doesn't talk to the media, but he doesn't need to talk. He let his work speak for itself. You know what I mean?
Always speaks volumes.
Always speaks volumes, man, for real, man. But Jay Boogie, man, we appreciate you on the check-in, big bro, for real, man. Definitely lock. I'm gonna lock you in. I got your math too, so I got you. I'm gonna definitely text you that information as well. You heard?
No doubt, I got your man. I got your email. I'm gonna hit you with some work, and as soon as I could clip off, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna send something to the app to help keep the lights on, man. Y'all guys keep doing what you're doing. Continue staying healthy and safe. Keep promoting and doing what you're doing. We love the hard work that you put in. The energy is always 100. Salute, 3 capital S's.
Say thank you, big bro. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
That's royalty right there.
Thank you.
All right, big bro. Shout out to Jay Boogie on the check-in, man. Where he ended the show off nice, man. You know what I mean? Don't forget, man, every Sunday, you know what I mean, live here on Bars and Hoops Radio. We are Knicks Talk Nation Radio. Myself, Tipper the Gambler, big bro Mike Ray.
Shout out to those Knicks.
And shout out to the Knicks, man. Word up, man. So until next week, man, we are signing off. Peace.